Good afternoon. Today is lesson 11, and we're going to talk in a little bit more detail about word problems, like we did in class a little. Word problems about combining. Word problems about combining. Now, we did start this a bit the other day when we were doing our investigation. So we're really just going to continue working on with that same theme. Word problems about combining. Now, the first thing that you really just need to remember is that word problems about combining are actually just what kind of problems? They're the same thing as addition problems. So word problems about combining are actually addition problems. Now, we have found them in the past you've used with the format of sum plus some more equals total. Sum plus some more equals total. Now what I want to do is add into there the letters that we had used when we were talking in class, where we had sum and some more equals the total. Now, if you can kind of keep the letters and those words in your mind, it's going to make it a lot easier as you're playing with these problems, trying to figure out exactly what to do. You have to know what you know, and you have to know what you need to know, or what's missing. So, sum, some more, and total, and we will use with that A plus B equals C. All right, let's use the one from earlier just as a quick reminder. A troop hikes 8 miles in the morning, and they hiked 7 more miles in the afternoon. How many miles did they hike total? So in this case, we know our A, we know our B, and we're looking for our C, and we know that we just have to add those two. So 8 plus 7 is 15. Oops. 15, and don't forget your label. With these, the key is labels, always labels. If you don't have labels, it will be marked wrong, so watch those labels. So again, following that pattern, they started with sum of 8. They added some more in the afternoon with 7 more miles, and they have a total of 15 miles. So sum plus some more equals total. In this case, A plus B equals C. Now, finally, when you look at an answer, you always want to ask yourself, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Now, I'm going to draw a little something right here that I'm not going to fully explain, but I want you to try and draw it. Now, let me turn that into brown, because this is the question that I will always ask you when we are checking for a problem to see if the answer makes sense. So here we have drawn a wonderful little palm tree. Don't laugh at my drawings, you'll hurt my feelings. A palm tree. And then right here, I want you to draw a cute little penguin. All right, granted, not the best penguin, but you get the idea. There we go. We've got our nifty little penguin with his little black suit on, except it's brown. Okay. I'm going to be talking about tomorrow palm trees or penguins. So having this in your notes tomorrow will make it easier when we go to check and answer. Sometimes I'm going to look at you and say, penguin, and now you'll find out tomorrow what exactly that means. Just remember, check to make sure your answer makes sense. Now let's take a look at this problem together. After Dwayne paid Destiny $120 for rent, Destiny had $645. How much money did Destiny have before Dwayne paid Destiny for rent? Well, let's look at the information that we do know. We know that he paid Destiny $120. So would that be the sum that she started with? Would that be the sum more that was added? Or would that be the total? Well, hopefully you were thinking enough to say that it was the sum more that was added. So the sum more is $120. Now it says after he paid her $120, she had $645. Well, is the $645 something she had as her total or her sum to start with? The $645, write it down where you think it would be. Is it the total she had after he paid or the total she started with before he paid? Hopefully you were smart when you looked at that after and said, well, the after has to mean after he paid. So if you didn't have it in the right spot, make sure you get it there. So $645 was her total. Now in this case, we have A plus B equals C. But I don't know my A. Do you remember from the other day with the missing factors? What would we do? Hopefully in your head you immediately thought, oh wait, the inverse operations, inverse and throw it in reverse. Inverse, do the opposite, which is subtraction, and throw it in reverse where you start from the bottom. So you would actually say 645 minus 120 equals 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 2 is 2, 6 minus 1 is 5. So the total she started with was $525. So because we studied the inverse operation and because we looked at missing parts of a problem, you hopefully realized that here when the A was missing, you would reverse it because subtraction is the inverse and reverse it up with subtraction. So a lot of times the biggest thing is going to be figuring out what is your sum, what is your sum more, and what is your total. Sometimes you have to play with it. Now the last thing I would ask you is penguin or palm tree? Does your answer make sense? Again, remember, we'll talk about that penguin and palm tree stuff, but would it make sense that she has more money after he pays her? Sure does. And when you look at your hundreds, 500 plus 100 is 600, so I know I'm close. Didn't tell me if I did everything right, but it told me that I'm at least close. So take time to think it through. Figure out what is your sum more, what is your sum, what is your sum more, and what is your total. If you do all of those parts, you will be just fine with working with any kind of word problem with combining. Have a delightful afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow.